Welcome to the lesson on Internet of Things history. Today, Internet of Things is everywhere. When did IoT get started? How did IoT get started? Yes, we are going to answer them. Clearly, it did not exactly get started as the Internet of Things. There were a lot of related technologies, developments in networking, and a few internet-enabled toasters before the idea of IoT really started to gain traction. Let's try going back in time and see how it all started. Ready? The year 1832. Yes, that far back. The electromagnetic telegraph was created in Russia. And a year later in Germany, Carl Friedrich Gauss and Wilhelm Weber invented their own code and used it to communicate over a distance of 1200 meters. That may not seem too impressive today, but in this time, it was nothing short of magic to convey information wirelessly or without a physical interface. Let's go ahead all the way to 1974. A lot of vital developments happened in the past century. We are going to try and focus on the practical discoveries that relate to the Internet of Things. 1974 marked the beginnings of TCPIP. TCPIP stands for Transmission Control Protocol or Internet Protocol. We won't get into the details now, but essentially they are the international standardized guidelines for how computers should talk to one another. So through TCP/IP, one computer can talk to other computer. They were not created for IoT, but today they are very important to its functioning. In the year 1990, John Romke launched a toaster connected to the internet. This is the first of its kind IoT device. A year later, they succeeded in also removing the only human element in the toaster by adding a robotic arm that dropped the toast in. Now the game was happening. In 1993, household utensil coffee pot was connected to the internet. Students at the University of Cambridge, frustrated with the repeated trips to the coffee machine to find that it was empty, set up a live webcam. Anyone, anywhere in the building or even in the world could access an image feed that was updated 3 times a minute regarding the status of the coffee pot. However, the first most recognizable IoT device came into existence in 1994 with Steve Mann. Steve Mann, known today as the father of wearable computing. He created the Wearcam with 6 sense technology, which was a neck-worn projector and a camera system. It was taken to the next level by Pranav Mistry, MIT Media Lab, who developed the hardware and software for the neck-worn and head-worn versions of this product. It was called Sixth Sense technology because of how these visionaries perceived it. They saw it as an extension of one's senses. Hence, the name came Sixth Sense technology. Another great master in the IoT domain was Mark Weiser. He coined the term Ubiquitous Computing. Ubiquitous refers to everywhere. His vision was pretty much that of a world where the internet was everywhere. He famously commented that ubiquitous computing is the opposite of virtual reality. Virtual reality puts people inside a computer-generated world. Ubiquitous computing forces the computer to live out here in the world with people. In 1998, a year before he passed away, he set up a water fountain outside his office. The flow and the height of the water fountain mirrored the volume and the price trends of the stock market. So even in the late 90s, people were doing early research in the IoT space. In the year 1999, the actual term Internet of Things was only coined by Kevin Aston. Kevin Aston was a British entrepreneur working with Procter & Gamble. He went on later to start RFID Labs. RFID Labs developed early versions of the global RFID or radio frequency ID tags. Until now, IoT has been largely theoretical, played around within universities and research centers. But the RFID tag was a game changer in the IoT story, simply because it was the first time that the industry was seeing how being connected to the internet could change the way business worked. From here, things moved quickly. LG released an internet refrigerator in 2000, while the MIT Media Lab created the Ambient Orb, a dynamic orb that monitored stock prices, news, finance portfolios, and changed colors accordingly. If the stock market's prices are changing, automatically the colors of that orb also changed. In the year 2001, Apple launched its first portable music player, Apple iPod. It is a powerful, small device that served as a precursor to mass-produced IoT technology. Year 2003 to 2004 also saw the mass deployment of RFID technology. RFID was deployed in two very different domains. One is as a part of US Department of Defense and other by Walmart in their retail operations. In the year 2005, the first hands-on IoT device, the Arduino, was introduced. It was a low-cost, simple for professionals and beginners to build their own IoT devices. The year 2010 had two big developments that set the course for explosive growth in the IoT domain. First, China announced their plans to launch a national Internet of Things. And second one, the number of connected devices per person increased to more than one. Another big device you may have heard of in reference to the IoT is Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is one of the most famous learning and building platforms. It is a tiny, credit card sized, single board computer with video and media capabilities that enable anyone to explore computing and learn how to program. The first generation of the Raspberry Pi, called Pi 1, was released in the year 2012. And over the last few years, several more devices have pushed the boundaries in the IoT space. Think of Google Glass, which became commercially available in the year 2013, or Fitbits and other wearable that measures sleep patterns, calories burned, and heart rates. Or the more recent driverless cars that everyone is creating a version of. So we see a lot of development happening in Internet of Things today. IoT GSI, our Global Standards Initiative, was started in 2012. It aims to promote a unified approach for the development of recommended technical standards for the implementation of Internet of Things on a global scale. This is an ongoing international effort to standardize IoT development worldwide. So this is the brief history of Internet of Things. Thank you for watching.